malign. Almost as soon as the Wolverines arrived, they were attacked by human marauders. One new recruit and Liffin, a seasoned member, were killed. As Liffin died defending Wheem, Haskir's contempt for the youth increased. Stryke pushed the band onward to Quat, the dwarf's homeland, a journey fraught with peril. An unknown number of instrumentalities exist, spread across the infinity of dimensions. Activation of the warband set was detected by a covert group called the Gateway Corps, a multiracial assemblage of great antiquity dedicated to the task of keeping the portals between worlds sealed off. The Corps hunted down instrumentalities. Corps leader Karel Rivers, a human, ordered his second-in-command, elf female Peli Maria, to recover the instrumentalities held by the Wolverines. Her unit, armed with potent magical weaponry, Peli's brief was to stop at nothing to achieve her mission. The Wolverines battled their way to Quat and found Jup, and were surprised to discover he had acquired a mate, Spurl. Wearied by Malastancia's increasing deterioration, Jup agreed to rejoin the band, but insisted that Spurl go along too. Before they could leave, the Wolverines encountered humans Michalor Standeven and Jode Pepperdine, who warned them of an imminent raid by religious fanatics. Despite their loathing and distrust of humans, the Orcs heeded them, and with the dwarfs beat off the attack. During the fight, Pepperdine, a superb warrior, saved Cowilla's life. Standeven proved less heroic. The Wolverines weren't aware that Pepperdine was little more than Standeven's slave, nor did they know that the pair were on the run from a despot called Cantor Hamric, to whom Standeven was in debt. Standeven and Pepperdine had avoided being executed by Hamric only because Pepperdine played on the tyrant's desire to possess the fabled instrumentalities. Convincing him that they could locate a set in the so-called barbarous lands of Malastancia, Standeven and Pepperdine were dispatched there by Hamric under armed escort, but overcame their guards. The tale they told the Wolverines was that they were merchants wronged by Genesta, and were seeking revenge on her. In reality, Standeven coveted the instrumentalities the Wolverines held, intending to use them as a bargaining chip with Hamric. Irate that the Wolverines had brought trouble to their settlement, the dwarfs turned on them. The band, along with Jup, Spurl, and the two humans, found themselves cornered in a blazing longhouse. Realizing the only way to escape was by using the stars, Stryke aligned them for what he hoped was the world of their mission. The warband materialized in the verdant terrain of Acurial, whose indigenous population of Orcs had lost their martial instincts. Exploiting this weakness, the human Pexan Empire had invaded under the pretext that Acurial possessed destructive magical weapons, and their occupation was brutal. The Wolverines soon tangled with the invaders in Taris, the capital, and were startled to discover that the humans, a race with no talent for sorcery in Malastancia, commanded powerful magic in Acurial. They had another jolt on learning that not all the Orcs of Acurial were docile. Facing overwhelming odds, they were rescued by a group of Orc resistance fighters and spirited away by them. Outbreaks of native opposition were a thorn in the side of Capel Hatcher, general of the occupying army and governor of what the Pexan Empire considered a province. He shouldered the burden alongside Brother Grentor, the High Cleric of the Order of the Helix, custodians and practitioners of magic. The resistance group was headed by twins Brellan and his sister Childa. The movement's leader in hiding was their mother, Celandia, who before the invasion had been Acurial's ruler, bearing the title of Primary. Stryke persuaded them that he and his band had come from the wilderness of the far north, where some humans allied themselves with Orcs, to explain Pepperdine and Standeven, and where dwarfs, unknown in Acurial proper, were commonplace. The mythical northern Orcs, he told them, had never lost their taste for combat. Skeptical of Stryke's story, the resistance decided that the Wolverines could join them if they proved their mettle. Their task was to free resistance prisoners awaiting execution. With half the band held as hostages under penalty of death for failure, Stryke liberated the prisoners. The Wolverines set about helping to train and organize the rebels, and Cowilla persuaded Brellan and Childa to agree to her forming an all-female fighting unit dubbed the Vixens. When the occupiers of Acurial sent a feared envoy to Taris to oversee the suppression of resistance,